everyone, my name is Himanshi and I'm here with my colleague Ishita from Foresight Analytics to discuss GenderLens Investing, what it is, things to consider when holistically adopting the framework, and more. I'm a social impact research and editorial associate at Foresight Analytics, and I work closely with the team to develop a more critical and sustainable approach to GenderLens investing.
Hi everyone, my name is Ishita and I'm an associate investment analyst at Foresight. I work closely with clients on their investment strategies and provide consulting support. We hope that we can offer some unique insights on the topic and raise some challenging questions for you. So let's get straight to it.
So to begin, GLI, also known as GenderLens Investing, is a framework offered under ESG investing with an aim to help investors allocate capital and strengthen their stakeholder engagement with women-led and gender-forward businesses that support gender equality targets in line with SDG 5. GenderLens Investing is a deliberate incorporation of gender factors into investment analysis and decisions to improve social and business outcomes.
Right, and that also includes the actions and processes that investors develop to intentionally invest in businesses that are led by women, as well as women-led solutions of organizations that target gender equality. Now, this can include increasing capital for women that solve challenges like gender biases in investment decision making, pay gap, and improving health, to name a few.
GenderLens investing, while a significant framework, has often been met with a degree of reluctance by investors because of the assumption that it is poorly researched and that its capacity to yield social impact is limited. These assumptions are still definitely there. However, the Australian Government Initiative on Investing in Women, an initiative that overlooks both the Global Impact Network and the GLI framework, has made a strong effort to bust these myths and provide various analytical resources to impact investors. In today's video, both myself and Nishita wish to address some of the key issues, as well as the key things we believe investors and fund managers wishing to holistically and authentically adopt GLI should consider, positioning them at the competitive nexus between real social impact and financial return. To drive a better understanding of GLI and some of the complex facets that constitute the framework, Ishita will provide an overview of key areas stakeholders may aim to consider.
Right. Thank you so much for that, Himanshi. Now, to work towards a holistic integration of GLI, managers and investors need to pay attention to the nuance and complexity of creating, understanding, and assessing gender impact. Aligning intent with integration is crucial to make holistic, evidence-based investment decisions. However, one of the issues investors face when adopting GLI is confusion about where to start. Now, investing with a gender lens means incorporating gender into an investment process, either as a tool to decrease risk and increase portfolio performance or to advance specific gender outcomes. Now, obviously, usually people who have the intention to invest in GLI instruments want a combination of all these factors. However, the conversation around gender lens investing has been focused on theory more than practice. And as a result, investors are often confused and overwhelmed, fearing they lack the resources or expertise to undertake what seems like a highly involved process for a niche group of investors. Now, the elephant in the room is how can investors capitalize on this opportunity? And to be honest, there's no clear-cut formula. Impact investing in itself is really art and not a science. So to begin with, the first step has to be to set realistic expectations based on the type of capital you are investing in. Now, this step is really the first for any investment process. And after knowing what type of capital is available to invest, the opportunities available and the approach to incorporate gender will be clearer. Now, second step would be to understand the tools at your disposal. The tools to incorporate gender into investment analysis vary based on the type of capital and the level of influence and the ownership the capital affords to the investors. Now, for example, in public markets, investors have two tools at their disposal, and those are screens and voice. Investors can screen investments in or out of the portfolio based on the performance against a variety of gender benchmarks like board and leadership diversity, workplace equity, product impact on women, and so on. Asset managers like Morgan Stanley offer products that target companies with high scores on measures in gender equality. Investors usually know of their rights but seldom exercise it, and this one is voice. Their voice can affect change by participating in shareholder voting and advocacy that encourage progress towards gender equity. And these two tools are really beneficial in harmonizing a journey towards GLI. Now, Himanshi will talk about the step three.
Absolutely, those were some great points. So, step three, as mentioned, aligning intent with integration is crucial to holistic decision making. However, one of the areas investors must also consider is that GLI requires a strong socio-cultural understanding of gender and creating gender impact, pointing to the fact that GLI is in fact an art, not a science, and that context really matters. Gender is nuanced and success looks different depending on the context of an investment. So first thing is that investors need to understand is that the progress on gender goals will look different across countries and sectors within the sector. For example, when you compare a renewable startup to a well-established microfinance network, social, political, and economic contexts vary drastically across locations as well. Therefore, the strategies and measurement metrics should vary as well. Investors must also be realistic about when to determine reporting requirements, as gender disaggregated data is difficult to collect, especially in emerging markets. Allowing a runway for improvement is essential to quality data collection. Focusing on building an ESG strategy, therefore, that uses an interdisciplinary research approach for both collecting and analyzing data is thus crucial, as gender-based analysis here is almost as crucial as financial analysis. Though, while these considerations strongly position investors at that nexus we so often talk about, it does not necessarily predetermine them to this position either. Managers and investors are encouraged to conduct third-party due diligence and exercise stakeholder engagement throughout their investment process to ensure that they are really aligning intent with integration.
Right. And also, as GLI is an art and not a science established by you before, things like interdisciplinary research, due diligence, and stakeholder engagement are crucial to doing GLI authentically and avoiding social washing. Now, to assure this level of quality, managers and investors are strongly encouraged to build a process that meets the ESG strategy. Now, some of which includes deal origination, screening, structuring, negotiation, and due diligence. And this is really, really important for quality assurance. Now, these methods are a crucial part of incorporating and doing GLI holistically.
Yeah, so what we are seeking, right, has a long trajectory. So not letting the pursuit of this perfect strategy to blind us is really important. What we believe is the key to a successful GLI strategy is iteration and engagement, which is to build upon your experience that you have and the data that you gather to continually refine your goals and evolve your strategy. This possibly will include to seek advice, engage in advocacy, and understand the terms and nature of GLI and the impact that it has. This ultimately requires investor curiosity.
Right. And to conclude this interesting topic that we covered today, GenderLens Investing certainly has the capacity to support, elevate, and empower gender equality targets by women led and gender forward businesses, ensuring that gender impact can be created by investment stakeholders. What it takes for it to be evidence based, holistic, meaningful is dependent on the capacity of investors to align intent with integration through their ESG strategy. As a matter of fact, the success of GLI in creating social impact and financial return is entirely dependent on it.
Thank you. So if any of you guys are interested in learning more about what Ishita and I have talked about in this video, specifically regarding GLI and strategies to adopt GLI holistically, check out the description box below for a link to one of our recent articles that we both wrote on at Foresight. And let us know what you think about this video in the comment section.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.